We could get right into it. Because I guess the reason why I ask is how many of the basic questions have you already been asked?
I always get asked the basic questions.
The basic ones.
That's always a given. Like you have to.
Okay, but I like to do my best.
You can do as many basic as many non-basics as you want.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I'll try and formulate it in a different light. For example, what does Laura Biondo represent?
Oh, that's a good one. See, that's not a basic one.
Okay.
I think that's more in depth because it asks more about who do I think I am and what are my values. And I think that, I don't know if I represent something per se, but I do think that I guide myself through values of integrity and respect, compassion, empathy, love. So probably those are the values that I represent. That's what I try to do through, or at least showcase through what I do. Like make sure that whoever gets to either meet me or see the content that I create or even compete with me, what you take out or what you leave is feeling a sense of worthiness, that you are valued, you are enough, you are loved, you're beautiful in your own way and unique in your own way, and you should embrace that to the fullest.
That's cool. And you want, when people to meet you in person, to have there be this consistency, like what you show and post is who you are in real life?
Yeah, I think so, because I noticed that through social media, it's super easy to fall into these patterns of projecting something that maybe we're not or that is not 100% real.
Yeah.
And I've always tried, especially recently, to showcase both in person and through socials, like all of my sides, all of my colors. Like when I'm depressed, when I'm mad, I don't really get mad. I'm not a person that tends to get that much mad. But like if I'm having...
post your mess ups as well.
100%, because I don't want people to think that my life is perfect or that everything I do is like success. Like, no, I have bad days. I've gone through depressing myself, through questioning myself, to feeling insecure about myself, to having a bad day, to having a good day, to having a mental breakdown or emotional breakdown. Like, I want to show that no matter what you see in terms of the outcome of what I do, which is what society normally looks at and values more, is just that outcome. No matter what you see, there's also a human behind that goes through all of the things any other human goes through, you know, and trying to project that whatever the success that you may have in whatever it is that you do doesn't really define us. You know, like that's what we tend to look as validation, because according to some sort of society rules, if you are the most, the best, the one with the biggest titles or the one with the biggest car or the one who has the most money, then you're the one who made it. And you forget that as humans, you're more than just that.
And the irony is that most people that show all that aren't actually wealthy.
As well, yeah. And you're probably not as happy. Like I went through a big, like, questioning moment and a lot of like breakdowns because I learned, not my fault, but I learned to attach my identity and my value to the outcomes I was achieving for sports. So if I wasn't achieving those outcomes that are the ones that show that you're the best, then I was not good enough. So to detach yourself from that and understand that you're more than just a trophy or you're more than just a record, it's a huge process. And when you get to understand that, you're like, at the end of the day, when I die, I'm going to the grave by myself, not with all my trophies. And it's what I lived and what I made people feel that is going to be the legacy, not the trophies per se.
Yeah, it's about what you leave other people, not about you.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's good.
So I hope that answers the question.
It does. It does. I was trying to remember where you gave me a lot, but there was a specific avenue I wanted to go down, but let me remind myself. Oh yeah, so you don't want to, you know, make your outcomes affect your happiness and define who you are and all that. Me as an artist, there's this concept of the audience comes last. and one should not be worried about what other people think, as long as what you're doing, you believe in it, and you think you really like the way the art looks or sounds or feels. So you know there's going to be other people that feel the same way, and as long as you're true to yourself, it will actually benefit the art. Is there a way all that concept can be applied to you as a football freestylist? Because the competitions ultimately are very, but how can you express yourself creatively without worrying about the judges?
I think it applies to everything in life.
Yeah.
You might think you see it more in art, in music, in sports, but the way I see it is that you have to care about people, but not let it define you. So when you create music, you create it for yourself, but you also want to do something that touches people. So when I perform or when I express myself through the words that I use in a performance or at a speech or at an interview, whatnot, I do think about the people that are watching because I want them to take something away.
Yeah.
When I perform, if I'm with a smile, you're going to see that, right? Rather if I'm not. So, but I might not give you power to define my value based on your opinion, but I do care on the audience and the people that are going to see the stuff that I am creating, because that's the way I communicate to them, and that's the way that I can inspire, which is something I really care about doing. So in freestyle, I guess that it comes down to, it's more body language, I guess. So the way you project yourself and the way you move and the way you even interact with someone and the way you might smile, the way you might look up at an audience.
Do you put focus in that in your practice routines? Do you think about how your faces or your body language as you perform a trick?
100%. When it's competitions, I don't pay attention to it really, because competition-wise, you're really focused on the competition per se. But when it comes down to shows or performances or even working with kids, like doing workshops, everything is important. From the way you look, from the way you stand, from the way you move, from the tonality of your voice, from the words that you use, even the language level that you have. And when I mean language level is different when I'm going to teach you or talk to you than I'm going to talk to a 12-year-old. So learning how to go down to their level and talk in a way that they can relate to me is important. So 100% you consider all of these things, even through content creation. Like if I'm doing something where I might either dress in a certain way or move in a certain way, it speaks to people. So all of those things, you always have to consider it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and I saw the recent post you were telling me about where you went to some youth event. So kids of all ages that you worked with. How did you go into that? The same state of mind you just explained?
Yeah, so for me, every time I go into a job, like a performance, a workshop, even a competition, whatever it is that I do, is my main things first is just put it in God's hands and understand that He has me there for a purpose, and I just want Him to use me to, fulfill that purpose. And when it comes to kids, the main thing is to be able to plant a seed and inspire them, touch their heart, make them feel that they're capable of doing things. The goal for me when I do workshops, especially when they're short workshops, like that one that you saw in the video, where it's like really come in and come out, my main goal is for a kid to go out knowing that you can achieve things that might look really hard. And if I get you to learn a trick that you would not expect for you to do, I'm planting a seed in your head that if you try, you will be able to do things.
Yeah.
And if I tell you, keep practicing every day, even if it's 5 minutes a day, that might trigger things. Not everybody, but there's kids that yes. And I get parents be like, my kid won't stop kicking a ball now in the backyard. For me, that's a win.
Yeah.
Because it's not exactly like the fact of you learning a trick. Rather, what is it that I'm teaching them? It's more the persistency, constant, like you have to be constant in what you do is take the risk, try, you will fail. I use my example. I'm a slow learner. And I have other friends that learn a trick like that. And for me, it's like, come on, why can't I learn that fast? Yeah. So yeah, going especially to work with kids is, for me, the key thing is plant a seed. plant a seed that it will translate in something else in their lives. And if you think about it, you probably remember maybe a coach, or in your case, like a music teacher, something.
Core memories.
Someone that, like, just by something so simple, it's still here, like if it was yesterday, and it changes you. Like, I remember the other day, I went to camp and I had these two coaches that they were the most fun coaches I've ever had. And there's one phrase they always told us to repeat throughout the camp that I stuck to my mind, and I just still say it today every time. So that's what I kind of want in a way. It's just to leave that little thing in there.
Yeah.
That you never know how it can help them.
Like core memory and something positive. That's cool. Yeah, so you're teaching them how to achieve success. Like you're saying, it can be applied to any aspect of their life.
I don't want to say per se success, because the way we measure success is relative, I think. And it's also kind of personal. We easily get influenced by what other people's definition of success is. So if I tell you my definition of success is being the one with the most titles, that might not relate to you. So I'm always very careful in those terms, because I don't want to already predispose someone that to be able to be successful in life, you have to reach certain metrics that someone else is putting in your life. So whatever it is that they decide to do, that's fine. For me, it's more like, you have to believe in yourself. You must try in life. Whatever it is you decide to do, just at least try and fight for that dream that you have. And don't let anybody tell you you can't do it, you can't achieve it.
Yeah. I got to find a different word to success, right?
No, success is fine. I think it's a very important word. Just as long as people understand that you define what success is for you.
Yeah, how about, achieve their goal.
Yeah.
That's more what you're saying, personal.
Yeah.
Right? And earlier you mentioned for when you work with people your age, you mentioned something about letting the universe take control and like whatever happens, happens. I'm trying to remember what you mentioned before you mentioned.
Yeah, it's more
about the kids.
I believe that that God uses us for me is God. For other people might be universe, energy, whichever way you want to define it, and I'm respectful of that. But for me, I know that there's a purpose behind what I'm doing, and that there's a purpose why I'm put in certain people's lives, or why through what I do, I get to interact with people. And as long as that will is what comes through, that it's God's will gets accomplished, I'm happy. That's why I surrender myself to be like, okay, God, there's a purpose why you put me here. Make sure that please like guide me to fulfill that. Even before performing, I remember a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, it was December 2023. Yes, I was doing a show in Germany for a month, and before every single show, I would do the same prayer, like, please make sure that I can touch someone's heart. There's a purpose why I'm here. Give me the strength to complete this task in the best way possible. And it's beautiful because at times I would see people cry when we would bow at the end of the show, and people were like crying, like
audience,
really
people in the audience.
And it's like, you touch people. You don't know how you can touch someone. When I was working at Cirque du Soleil, I remember we received letters from audience, and one that really shook me was that this mom sent us a letter that her autistic child cannot stay still to focus on something, and somehow that kid was able to stay for 2 hours focused on the show. And that's when you realize, for me, I'm just kicking a ball. But for whoever's seeing it, it goes beyond. You don't know what emotions you can trigger in them. So that's why I surrender myself to that purpose of like, okay, there's a reason why I'm here.
Yeah, very fulfilling for you, I imagine. That's cool. And so when you go into competitions, you know how with most sports, it's I feel a lot of athletes go with this mentality, is that all the work I did before the game, whatever match you're about to go into, is what defines whether I'm going to win or not. Anything that happens on that field is kind of whatever the universe has. And for example, let's say, oh, in soccer, you have a free kick and it's, you either score or you don't. You're not going to change fate in that moment. Whether or not you make that goal was decided with how many hours of work you put into it in the gym.
Yes and no.
How do you view that?
That comes down to how much you surrender to your faith. It's hard at times to let go of the mind and just accept that no matter what you do, God already knows what's going to happen. I'm learning now to apply that more in competitions in terms like, just go, do your best. If you lose, it was not your turn. If you win, it was your turn.
Exactly.
Like you cannot do anything to control the environment or anything around you. But at the same time, the work that you put in, so there's this phrase that I really love. It says, people get rewarded in public for what they do in private. So there's no way I can pretend to win a competition or do good in a competition if I don't practice. It's not like I'm magically going to show up with the abilities to do something or with the strength or the condition. Like you have to put in the work. It's even a teaching, like it's even in the Bible, like you plant you reap what you sow. You have to do the work in order to be rewarded. So it goes hand in hand. You have to prep yourself. And the moment you're going to step on that stage, and it's not easy because it's easy to say it, but to do it, trust me, my head at times goes all over the place. Wow. Yeah. But in that particular moment that you go on stage, you just have to do your best. Focus only on what you're doing.
Be present.
Not what's happening around you, not who the judge is, But it's hard because, like, at least in my case, when I go into competition, which is 1v1, it's easily to get triggered by who's going to be your opponent. Maybe she's playing home. You know, we're in a country where she has more support than I do, or maybe she has more friends there than I do. Or maybe there's like someone new that's coming with fresh stuff that hasn't been seen. I've been doing it for a while, but this judge maybe likes this more than that one, or maybe this or that, or I have to be able to achieve this because if I don't do this and that, it's so easy for your thoughts to just go on crazy. So it's easier said than done, but they go hand in hand. You have to put in the work if you want to see the results. And then you also have to surrender to whatever is the purpose. If it's meant for you, you'll win. You'll even be like, how did I even win this stuff? If not, you just got to like accept it. There's a purpose, there's a teaching, and you go on from there.
That's the approach I would take it because I feel that would increase my chances of being successful in that moment is by just clearing your mind. Because the more you think, the more it'll actually do a disservice.
It's hard. That's the ideal.
That's the ideal. Yeah.
But trust me, it's a little hard because it's so easy to get caught up in our thoughts and let our egos get in the way. Because at the end of the day, it's just an ego thing. Because the ego is, I am the best. I am defined by what I have. I am defined by what others say. With exactly, which is all the I and with the most or the best of. So the thoughts and the fears that we have, fear is basically the ego fearing to die. That's why you're afraid of losing a competition. Because if you lose, nothing's going to happen to you. You're still going to be leaving. It's your ego that dies. Because the ego did not achieve that status or that standard of being the best. So that's why we fear in those situations. And the moment we fear that stuff, we start looking to all the possible scenarios that we can control so that outcome doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to control the mind.
I think that's what a lot of people say is the reason why Michael Jordan was so successful is he was the most present-minded person and did not ever think about the negative.
And that's something that I heard from him say, and I always remember that as well. He, in an interview, he said, in the documentary that they had of the
Last Dance?
One. He said, someone asked him, what if you fail that shot? He's like, why should I think I'm going to fail a shot that I haven't even taken?
Exactly.
And I'm like, can I please think that way too?
Yeah.
But it's true. You can't be afraid.
Yeah. I don't even know how much he studied spirituality or Buddhism or whatever, but whether he did or he didn't, it was present in him.
And that's something I need to work on. Like I get things, coming up my way. And then I'm like, what about this? What about this? What and the fear of this and the fear of that and the fear. And here I am talking about you can't be fearful. And then my head is all fear. But no, that's going back to that point about showing who you truly are through socials or whatnot. Like I go through so much questioning and so much fear when I have new situations come up my way that I can go spiral on thoughts like crazy. And fear comes out in all shapes and forms.
That's when I just think too much. Like that happens to me too much. And I think about it, and you were telling me about the power of now recently that you saw I recently got it. And that is reminding me, yes, just stop thinking so much. Like I try and meditate all the time, but that has helped me take it to the next level and just be fully present.
There's another book called Chatter, I think, or something like that.
And that alludes to...
It gives a lot of cool tools and perspectives of how to analyze or see things. I had forgotten about that book, now that I remember.
Is that another recommendation for
That
me?
is 100% a recommendation. There's one that I don't know why I remember it so much. And it says that, just imagine you're a little spider, and you're up in the corner of your wall, and you're looking at what's happening. So try to put yourself there
Like
and see your life in that perspective to kind of get out of your head. And like that, so many different examples. So that's another really good book.
Yeah, that's an awesome concept. I like to apply that to humor. Like I'm the type of person that can find a non-humorous situation very humorous because it's that fourth wall. You know how there's a lot of scenes in comedies that are really funny, but if it was a real life scene, you wouldn't be laughing.
Yeah.
So that's what I do in my real life to try and, if there's something that just I don't want to deal with, sometimes I'll take myself out of it and it'll help me like get through it. It's like, oh, that is really funny.
That is helpful.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And yeah, speaking of meditation, continuing on that, I wanted to ask you if doing your juggles and your tricks, is that kind of a form of meditation for you?
It is a form, I think so, yes. There's days when it's hard to shut the mind when I go train, and it's not the most successful training. But a lot of the times it is that escape and that moment where you're like...
That's what I was trying to put myself in your shoes, and I would approach it like that. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to do this juggling, and it's one of the ways that's very difficult in today's society to stay completely focused on something, you know?
I think that regardless of what it is, your form of meditation or to kind of detach yourself from reality, it's not always perfect. You can't always pretend that you're going to go and be able to focus. There's times where I'm training and my mind is fantasizing, and I'm like, come on, focus.
And
at times I push it. At times I'm like, okay, it's not now. Let it go. Next day is going to be better, and then next day it is better. Then I'm like all out. But yeah, it kind of is my little getaway, my little temple. Let's call it.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to get at. That's cool. I was hoping you saw it that way. Because yeah, that's a good way. If that's your life, that's what you do. It's important to maintain the love for it, and that will continue to make it successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, but yeah.
What makes you say that?
I guess that it's weird because after so many years, like I still love what I do and I enjoy it so much. But then things start to come and get in the way, whether it's job or life or like a whole bunch of other things. And it's easy to lose sight of why you started.
Yes.
You always have to go back and remind yourself, why is it that I do this? I think that's probably why I've been able to do this for so long and keep competing for so long is I just love the feeling of going into these environments where I'm going to meet friends. And every time they're different, but just the vibe and the energy of like, it's like a kid going to Disneyland. That's how I see it. when I go to competitions and events, it's like, especially competitions, when I get together with all of us. And I mean, I guess also it's just like in every little niche is different, and it's like a little bubble, and it's a different world. And you're freestyling every day, and freestyle here and freestyle there, and more freestyle and freestyle in the lobby, freestyle in the hallways, freestyle everywhere.
It's a culture.
Yeah, so it's when you remember always why you started, it's easier to not lose that happiness.
Cool. And the people you meet along the way that you can share that with. Is that what you're getting at with these? Because you start seeing a lot of the same people. That's how
some of them become life friends, and maybe I don't see them forever, but whenever we meet up again, it's like it feels like family. Like I get you, you get me. We don't need to talk. We get each other.
Yeah, I relate to that so much with Falco and I going to music shows. Like tonight, we're gonna go. Like that's our world. We're gonna see a lot of people we know, and it's just like, oh, you're talented, but I'm supporting you. But I'm supporting you, you know, like.
And you guys are talking your own language.
Oh, yeah.
You understand without having to explain. Like, I might not understand music the way you understand it. You might not understand freestyle the way that I understand it, but you have that level of communication with other people in your world that does not involve words. There's just deeper level of synergy.
But that reminds me of something I like to tell people that aren't in the music scene, because a lot of times I'll ask people's opinion but they're not in the industry or whatever. They're like, oh, I don't know why you really care what I think. This is what I think, but what do I know? I remind them, you are the person who should know because you're the people we're trying to satisfy. I know like the audience comes last, but it's a balance. Like you said, you do have to think about them. So
where did you get that the audience comes last?
Rick Rubin. I don't know if you know who Rick Rubin is. He's a world famous producer back with Aerosmith, Run DMC, Beastie Boys.
Interesting.
Jay-Z, Linkin Park.
It's an interesting concept. I don't think I would relate to it. I mean, people's opinions come last, but when your purpose is to serve an audience, then your audience should be there as well, right? Not their opinion, but serve.
Yeah, this conflict happened in my head. It still happens in my head. I actually spoke about it with Brandon recently, and he helped clear it up for me. It's a balance, right? So the audience should come last, but that's only when you're at the point of being very good in your craft, and you're at that level where your music is undeniably good. So now it's just a matter, like, you know, the audience should like it. You know, it's at the point where you don't care if the audience doesn't like it. That means they're not the demographic. They're not your target. That means, okay, now I have to remarket it and go to someone else.
In that case, I agree, because you don't want to do stuff to please people. You're going to do it for yourself first. And when you become an expert on what you like, you can then use it as a tool to serve people. And that way I can agree. Yeah, I freestyle for me. And the tricks that I do is because are the ones that I like, not because someone else likes them, but then I know how to use them to serve them. And in that moment, they become first.
Exactly. And if you worry about them too much, their opinions, it'll do a disservice to the art.
Yeah.
You know, that
I agree.
The key word right there, disservice.
Yeah.
And he explains that beautifully. So yeah, Rick Rubin, he's worked with the biggest names.
Then I agree with him.
His resume is unbelievable. So he knows what he's talking about, kind of thing. And he's very into Zen. So he's in that state of mind. So yeah, that's what I like to tell people like you, that if you come from outside the music world to go see a show and base judgment on artists, it's okay, because you are the consumer.
It's feedback. Like when you come to see a competition or a show of mine, I'm going to ask you, what did you think? Did you like it? What did you like? Because it always there's always a different perspective that we don't see, or people within our world don't see.
Exactly.
And it's always good to get that feedback.
Yeah. So if you ever feel like your opinion doesn't matter in a world that you're not a part of, remember that. It's like, well, you're a music consumer, so of course your opinion, matters substantially, if not even more than. Sometimes I value the casual listener's opinion more than my own. Again, it's a balance. But sometimes, because as the artist, the creator, you get too deep into the art, too worried about things that don't matter and that's not going to change anything. You know, it's like, oh, should I make this hat symbol do 4 quarter notes, ba, 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 or triplets, da, 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 you know? And who the hell cares? Like, you know, the intricacies of something. He knows what I'm talking about.
We should pan the camera to you. Show your face.
Yeah, you can if you want. But yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. It's
Camera guy knows.
yeah, Falco. He knows. Yeah, you shouldn't worry too much about the little things. When like a lot of times I ask my sister, what do you think makes this song better than my other one? She's like, I don't know, I just feel better. It's like,
But remember
duh,
that we perceive things differently
that
as
matters.
humans. Like, we all have a different way we perceive life, and we all have different ways we like things. So maybe something that I perceive that I like might not be your preference or your taste thing. So it's always very relative, everything.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, you might see something that I didn't, and then I'll be like, oh my God, why didn't I notice that? And that actually helps. Yeah, so those kind of things. Where can I go with this? I'm thinking about the show tonight. Is there any questions you have about the show tonight?
No, I'm
Just
an open book.
very curious to see what happens without any expectations.
No.
Cool.
I mean, I've had my fair share in the music world, going to shows. I went to a few live jazz thingy with Jickeys, and I liked it. Some I didn't like, some I did like. But it's just what I like to see, or I notice a lot, is when I see people that understand how they vibe to it, like how they react to things, that they understand that language. I might not understand when you're hitting a cool note or a cool like solo moment or whatnot. I don't get it. But to see other people getting it, it's pretty cool. It's like if it comes to my competition, you're not going to understand the difficulty of it. And if I'm doing something more difficult than someone else, but you might see other people's reactions that make you understand a little bit and be like, oh, that person's getting it. Like they like this or that. So I guess that's what for me is fun, to go into these different environments. It's just to see something new, try to learn something new, and just see how also other people engage and interact with that.
And speaking of that, this is a great segue, because I always want to talk about this in every one of my future episodes, the correlation of music and, in this case, football freestyle. Let's go into that. Is there, when you go into your freestyling, do you have a certain, by chance, rhythm in your head or song? Or, because it's like a dance to me. That, and can you correlate a specific genre to football freestyling? What is your
It depends.
opinion?
When I'm training, I need something that's going to give me like hardcore mentality. And it's normally recently, so I've gone through so many different variations of stuff throughout all the years I've been freestyling. Right now, recently, the past year, 2 years, I listen to a lot of rap in Spanish.
In Spanish, like Red Bull Batalla?
Yes and no. I listen to a lot of Apache, Cancerbero.
I don't know.
So that's my go-to when I train. Those guys. When we compete, we use a lot of like breakdance music. That's the main thing when we go to competitions. So when I'm closer to competitions, I tend to put playlist of competitions just to get a little bit in that mood and the vibe of having that breakdance music type of style. When I'm performing, I choose something that's going to get the audience clapping, something upbeat that's going to be happy and has a rhythm. Or I can usually get a clap.
You usually get to choose what song you want to freestyle to?
Normally, yes. It depends. Unless it's something that it's a show that comes with the soundtrack where we need to build a show to that specific song. But if not, I get to pick and choose. So I vary it just to make it more fun for myself, or it depends on the event itself. So
There's not any specific style that you tend to lean towards more? I guess it's changed over the years.
it changes a little bit. I try to always consider what's trending and what engages people. But anything like, how could I explain that? I don't know. I just need to make sure that it's something that, again, will get me people to keep clapping, that they feel like they're at a party, like they're having fun.
In that case, it's more for the audience.
In that case, it's 100% for the audience.
Okay, so you don't feel you perform better listening to specific...
I'm not going to go perform listening to Apache. People are not going to react to it. They're not going to understand it. But if I go train with friends and I play that, depending on the group of friends, they're going to be like, hell yeah, we're going at it. This is hard stuff.
And that's for you, even if you're by yourself.
If I'm by myself,
where you're going.
If I'm by myself, if I'm with friends that train with the same type of music, when I train, I put what I need. When I perform, I put what serves best, the purpose. Of course, when I do performance with kids, I'm not going to put something that maybe has curse words.
Yeah.
So I tend to pick and choose wisely when I have to do something with kids. And also depends on the type of event and the vibe that there is. Like normally, a lot of the times I was using a lot of Mi Gente from J Balvin because it's just easily, you can get everybody.
That's very popular in the soccer world.
It's a nice upbeat song. People like it, especially when it has to do a lot of Latin people. But I recently did something with kids. It was for charity and I was going to do a show and then workshops. And I was like, I don't feel Mi Gente is the right vibe for a charity event for kids. And so I went with, I think it was a remix of A Little Less Conversation of Elvis, which was used in a very famous commercial. So it was still quite a moved song that goes well to a performance. And it gave me the right vibes that I needed in that particular moment, because it wasn't a stage performance. It was more like on a pitch with kids around me.
You're a DJ, essentially.
Nah.
To a certain extent. You know, it's a DJ mentality.
You always try to
want.
have to, you pick and choose. If I'm going to do a corporate event, I might not pick as well a certain music that has certain language to it or certain words to it or certain phrases. It doesn't have to necessarily be a bad word.
Yeah.
So it really comes down also to the environment that I'm going to be in.
Has there ever been a time when in a competition they play some music that actually has a negative effect on your performance? Or you kind of zone out?
I zone out.
Yeah.
I don't even, there's crazy because some freestylers remember. I mean, you go back to the videos and then you can associate a certain song to a certain battle. But me, in the moment I hear it, I react to it, I get it, but I forget. By the time I'm done in the battle, I do not know what was the song.
That's good. That's interesting. So it doesn't affect you.
For some people, see, now here's a cool part. If you go see a dance competition, like a breakdance competition or any other competition that's related to dance, musicality is number one. You have to be able to listen to the music and go to the music. In freestyle, it depends on your preference. Like, it's not a top priority. It does get considered, but it's, for example, the Japanese and the Asians in freestyle work more to musicality. And they actually train counting their eights.
Like choreographed.
Not necessarily choreographed, but they really do listen. And whenever they start at times things, they're counting their eights, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. And then they go with their tricks to the music. That's why they always hit notes, because they do train a lot, the musicality part of things. But then you go to other parts of the world where maybe the musicality is not number one priority. So they're not training to prioritize the music. You might hit a note, you might land a trick at the right time because you might know the song, and at times you get it, but it's not your priority. For me, it's not my priority. I don't train to that. But I know that when I have like a Japanese or an Asian guy that's gonna come compete, I know that guy's nailing most of the beats. Like, that guy is like, da, 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 boom.
And that adds to the performance.
Oh, of course. If I
Everybody
land a massive trick on the beat, you're going to react to it.
Yeah. You're like,
So it is important. And you do consider it, because at the end of the day, if I hit a trick at a note, I'm going to also it adds up a level of difficulty, of course. So it does influence into what also the judges perceive or what the audience perceives. So it is important. Might not be the thing that I look to the most, but if you have it, it's also good.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me of like rap battles. Yeah, the words are probably the most important, but what really gets me hype is if their flow and cadence is like going to the beat. It almost doesn't matter what they say at that point.
For example, if I do a performance and I know the song, I do try to build my routines with the song. So I know that in a lower moment, maybe this tricks go better. Maybe at this point, this goes better. Maybe at this moment, I should do this trick. In those cases, I do tend to try to build my performance with the music.
Yeah. Should I ask, what is the hardest trick you can do or the coolest trick you can do?
I think that that's relative. Even freestylers ask it themselves, like for whatever is hard for me might not be hard for someone else.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Is there a favorite trick you can do?
I do have my favorite trick, which is called a clipper.
What is that one?
I'll have to show you or send you a video so you can edit it.
That's actually the other idea here I have.
I can't show it to you without shoes. Not that one.
Well, I'm saying after we shut the cameras off for a moment, I was thinking I could bring the yoga mat here and you do the one trick here. That'll be like the way to sign off the podcast.
No, I could do a few little things sitting down here.
Even right here?
Yeah, that's fine. For sure.
Yeah, but I could move it later.
No, you can keep back into something.
You prefer it?
No, but I can make it happen if you want me to do it here.
Okay.
But yeah, my favorite trick is called a clipper. I can send you a video of it. It's hard to do without shoes. It's very stylish. And
the one I always see you end with is where you put the ball here and like
flick it up.
Flick it up like that.
Typical ending, yeah. When I'm sitting down, yeah.
Is that most freestylers or that's your?
No, everybody does it.
Everybody does it. Okay.
It's very visually pleasing, especially when it comes to a performance. There's one or two endings that I do in performance-wise. Competitions, you're gonna vary it. But it's very visual, that one. People really like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what to go to when you need to impress someone, especially when it's audience.
Yeah.
Competition's a whole different world.
Do different freestylers, are there any freestylers that have signature moves?
100%, yeah.
Do you have a signature move?
My clipper is not my signature move. I didn't invent it, but I am known because I have a really clean clipper. The clipper is this trick where this is my standing leg, this is behind me, and I'm coming down with the ball, and then it comes back up.
Oh.
Okay? So
yeah, I've seen that.
A lot of people do it, and it does not look good because it's hard to cushion the ball and then flick it back up. So that move, when you have it, Japanese as well, Asians are so good at it, or also people that play foot bag. So the little hacky sack. So it's very similar to a hacky sack. It's a little different, the foot bag ball. But foot baggers have a lot the clipper in their tricks. So I am quite known for having a really stylish clipper.
Yeah, I did want to ask if you have personalities in your shows, something that sets you apart and makes you unique from others.
Everyone has kind of something. Some are more than others. Like there's some people that are very expressive in their ways or the way they dress. Some people dress with baggy clothes, jeans. Other they look like soccer players. Other ones are like
different uniforms.
Everybody's different. And that's the cool thing about freestyle. It's just like you get to be whatever you want to be. There's not a specific rule or uniform or way you have to dress or the way you have to look.
Yeah, there's the true artistry.
That's where you can express yourself. But even the way you choose how to do your tricks or what tricks you decide to use, that's a way for you expressing yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is your most memorable experience?
It's hard. It's hard to put them in a list of best to worst or best to not best.
That's why I ask memorable, like what stands out?
There's several because they're all been different. Even if you ask me, where did you like the most? Like what country? They're all so different and so unique, you can't compare them.
Okay, it's hard.
I have to admit that being in Cirque du Soleil was one of the most life-changing experiences, for sure.
I don't know much about you. I know you say you did it, but you haven't told me much about.
So I was. The story is quite funny. I was in Orlando with my brother. We were there for, I don't remember what we were doing. And we were just wandering around, and we were at Disney Springs, and I was making videos like I always do everywhere. And I did one in front of Cirque du Soleil. And he was like, imagine if they call you. I'm like, never. In front, there's a show there. They have different types of shows, Cirque du Soleil. So you have your arena shows, which basically, I can't speak anymore. You have your arena shows that go to like stadiums, like arenas, like the American Airlines.
Yeah, we always call it AAA.
AAA, because I cannot.
What is it? Is it Kaseya?
Is it Kaseya Center now? Yeah, whatever. Was that type of arena?
It was going to be Bang Bros at one point, wasn't it?
Right. Sure. So you have the shows that go to arenas. You have your tent shows. That's the one I was in. So you're literally under a tent. And then you have your resident shows. So those are fixed. They don't move around. So in Orlando, there's a resident show. It used to be La Nuba. Now it's Drawn to Life. So it's a whole different show. So we were just filming out there, and I did my little video and ad. And he was like, imagine if they call you for something like a show. I was like, impossible. They're perfection. They do everything perfect. There are gymnasts and this and that. Why would they want someone that kicks a ball?
And there was people watching you?
No, not at all. Couple weeks later, though, like 2 weeks later, I had competed. Went to the World Finals. I got 3rd place that year. And like a week or so after that competition, I get an email by Cirque du Soleil. And I was like, this is spam. I was like, you know those, like, this is
spam.
A virus, 100%.
Yeah.
Click this link and we hacked you.
Yeah.
No, it was legit. It was legit. And it was like a year that went on of negotiations. I also did a casting. The contract was offered to someone else before it was offered to me. And again, when it's God's purpose for you, it will happen. Don't ask me how.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's because it's not meant for me. Someone else got it. I'm happy for that person. I still did my casting. It was the worst casting I've ever done in my life. Like, I made so many mistakes. I had to, like, the first thing I had to do was do a small routine, like a 2-minute routine, right? Your 2-minute show. I went to flick up the ball and I didn't do it properly. My ball went all the way to the back of the room. It was so embarrassing. And like that, I had so many embarrassing situations in that casting that I was like, yep, I sucked.
You didn't get it.
I was so bad at the casting, but I had a lot of fun, which was the important part. Like, one of the casting guys were just cracking up with me because I was just having a blast. I was like, okay, I don't have
the energy can be way more important.
I already knew that someone else had been offered a contract, so you still do your casting because it's still important that if you finish a casting, you're going to be in their database. So it's always good to be in the database because if you're ever going to need a freestyler, they just go to the database and like, oh, we can go to this person, right? And so, yeah, I just did my casting, did the best I could do, did a lot of mistakes, but enjoyed it, whatnot. Let it go. I was like, okay, it's not meant for me. God will have something for me. And like 2 weeks after the casting, I got a call, like, we want to offer you the contract. And I was like, what? And so then exactly almost 10 years ago, November 2015, I went to Montreal and we started creating the show that I was in. It's called Lucia. And I was there for 4 years. So there was an act where freestyle, just as you have your jugglers, your acrobats, you're here, that. That was the first time Cirque du Soleil used freestyle in a show. The show is a Mexico-inspired show, and then freestyle, the part of freestyle represented that passion for soccer and like that cultural aspect of going to the street to play with your friends. So our act actually had no props. We had no props whatsoever compared to other acts. And it was just my partner, myself, and
the ball.
The guys in the, like, more people in the back as contour. And it was just that, like, you go out on the streets and you play with your friends. So I think that was one of the most life-changing experiences. I did it for 4 years. And I guess I have to just, I don't know, I'm blessed about it. It changed my life. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about what being an artist is and what being an athlete is and how those two worlds are completely different. It really pushes you to a limit to go out of your comfort zone, to get to know yourself better as a human, as a performer, and also having the blessing to know what it feels like to make people feel something through what you do, which was that connection with the audience, which is what I miss the most. At times I'm like, oh, I miss the show. I miss the stage. I miss that connection that you have with the audience. To see someone smile, to see someone's reaction, to hear when they chant. That's why I'm like, most of the times when I go to a show, I try to give that back to whoever's on the show, whether it's through a standing ovation or through clapping, or because as an artist, you feel it. I remember times when people would not even like, you don't need to stand up, but like, it's nice when you get a standing ovation. Like when you get that reaction from people, because then that makes that's the only feedback that I get on stage. Did I do a good job is by your reaction.
Yeah, at the end.
Exactly. So it was a beautiful experience.
That's such a humanistic sort of gratifying feeling, I imagine, to have so many souls like standing in approval towards another.
And I remember I went once to see a show, like a Cirque du Soleil show, after I was done. And at the end of the show, I stood up and I was clapping, and the guys behind me were so mad, like, sit down. Like, well, you can also stand up and clap. It's like, that's very rude of you. I'm so sorry. Like, I felt bad for them. But I was like, I've been in the shoes of over there, and I get you. You don't want to stand up, but it doesn't cost you anything to just stand up and clap. It
was the end of the show?
It was the end of the show. It's when you take the bows. Is at the bows. Like the end when all of the yeah, at the end of every show, each artist comes out, like each act.
So they were just against standing ovations.
I don't know. I feel sorry because I was like, I could have also sat down and just not be so unapologetically like me. But at the same time, I was like, I remember the days where sometimes the audience was so quiet that you're like,
oh, that's the worst.
Like, oh my God, should we suck that much? But no, Cirque du Soleil it's probably one of the most memorable ones because it was so life-changing.
That's cool. I'm glad you're sharing that with me here because I didn't know all that and I wanted to know all that. And that's making me realize how much more of an art form what you do is than one might assume. You know?
I always say freestyle is both, sorry, just careful with your foot.
Just make sure.
I always say that freestyle is both art and sport. For me, at the beginning, it was hard to separate them. But now I get it. It's both. If I decide to compete, I'm taking it as a sport. If I decide to perform, as an art. Of course, to be a good artist, you have to be good at the sport because at the end of the day, it is a sport, but that you can use as an art form. And it's going back to that question about training and prepping yourself. If you don't prep yourself in whatever it is that you're doing, you're not going to deliver, whether it's in a competition or a show. A lot of the people at the Cirque du Soleil shows are ex-gymnasts. And you learn also other parts of Cirque. I mean, and there's all of these circus disciplines and stuff and all the acrobatics and stuff. But if you don't work out, if you don't train your skills, doesn't matter what you try to do. Like, you need to work that part always, no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. What else? Let me make sure. How long in are we? Do you know?
45 minutes already.
Ah, we're
Really?
That's good. I mean, I've only done so many, but usually I feel like an hour is good. But I know
You have to just let yourself go and like come up. Like when we were chatting here the other night, that this question came out and that came out, and
exactly.
let yourself.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to stop it if we're flowing.
Let's go. Flowing.
But yeah, you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I had something else insightful. Oh yes. When did you discover this love for freestyling?
I was injured from playing soccer. I was recovering from the injury. My brother used to watch a few Yoga Bonito commercials with Ronaldinho and kind of stuff, and watch some stuff on YouTube. And I would try.
That was when YouTube was
That was
First
just
blowing up?
YouTube was blowing up. Yeah, that was 2007, I want to say.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I would try a few things, but I was not good at it. And then God's will, God's purpose was for me to, we lived in northern Italy, and we had gone to visit my grandma in Rome because my grandma lived in Rome. My brother was doing the preseason with a team there, just training. And I would just be on the side of the field, getting back into touching the ball. And I was terrible at juggling. I've always been really bad at juggling. People don't believe it, but I've
Always been up until
I started practicing.
or even now you're still bad.
I have a video. I should find it and show it to you. You'll see a video.
Can you believe that coming from her?
No, I know. Actually, I don't.
I'm bad at
Pause.
dribbling.
Hold on. Hold that thought right there.
That's like Michael
I know I
Jordan
have
saying,
it.
I'm bad at basketball.
Well, if you think about it, I saw the other day a video of Kobe talking. It was an interview, and he was saying that there's so much pressure put on kids right now into having to learn certain drills or be the best and whatnot. And he said, like, ask Michael Jordan what he was doing at 12. He was playing baseball. He wasn't even playing basketball.
Yeah.
So the most important part is to have fun. That's the first thing you want to have kids understand and learn.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. That was me when I was like, why is it not flipping?
We should put this in the
We will. Hold on.
in the post editing.
There you go. So like,
Wow, the VHS numbers.
of course, this is like, I'm a
Wow.
dinosaur. What do you
This
think?
isn't a filter, guys. This is real.
Look, like I was really bad. I'm going to show you right now. That's me.
Better than me.
Hold on.
So the camera.
Okay, that's me right there. Wait, there you go.
Wow.
Look at those skills. Man, it was so good.
How old were you?
So that was 2001,
11.
probably 11, 12, kind of. So I was really bad. So back to how I started. Recovering from the injury, I was on the sidelines of the field, just juggling and whatnot, trying a few little things that I kind of knew how to do. And God's will was that in that team, there was a freestyler. And he approached me and started teaching me a few tricks. And then he introduced me to other freestylers. And then that's how I got involved. And I started watching videos, and I would go and try these tricks and just spend hours and hours and hours in a parking lot.
What attracted you to it? What motivated? It was just fun or like purely the joy or?
I think it was just a getaway from life situations, difficult moments of life. And so it was my way to escape.
Meditation.
Yeah. That's why probably I love it so much, because it always was my escape.
Yeah.
And so then I would just spend hours grabbing a video, playing it in slow motion, try to understand what the person was doing with their body.
Yeah.
And just go. So the more time I spent out there, the more time I was away from
The problems.
away from the bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever incorporate those moves in pickup in the game, soccer?
Not really.
No?
Maybe every now and then, if it's for fun, you can do a little something. But I think that freestyle helps a lot is with your body awareness and the touch, the sensitivity that you have towards the ball.
It's not necessarily to juke people.
Not necessarily. I also like to respect both worlds in a way. Like, there's no need for me to go on a field and humiliate someone because I can do better tricks that they can.
Yeah. Well, what I think of is,
But don't worry, we go play out. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, I mean, I want you to humiliate me to see.
No, you tell me what you want me to humiliate and I'll do it. You'll be like, see that guy right there? He's not fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looked at me sideways. Screw him.
Can you just like nutmeg him?
Yeah.
Let's do it. No, I'm kidding.
No, because I think of, I guess this isn't as popular as in N1 freestyle basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that, the culture is to embarrass somebody.
But there is that
There's
side,
that.
not to freestyle, but it's more street soccer. That's a thing as well.
Okay.
And that is legit. but not megging people. Like if I get you,
have you developed your skills in that? It's kind of completely separate from
separate.
freestyling.
I haven't really devoted myself to that. But I know a lot of people within that world that also freestyle and street soccer are very close to each other.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
I feel like it'd be funny to have you all of a sudden in the middle of the field go on a handstand and flick the ball around, do all your tricks.
Some people have done videos that way, that in the middle of the field, they just start doing tricks to see people's reaction, like hidden camera style. But I haven't done it, no.
I feel like it'd be really funny. I know it's probably really easy to steal the ball. It's like, okay, they just kick you or whatever.
No, if someone kicks me, I'm suing them. No, sitting.
But yeah, I feel like it'd be really funny if you do that. When did you first discover soccer?
When I was 10.
Your earliest memory is 10? That video is like a year after?
I don't know, probably. I don't really remember, but yeah.
You were pretty fresh in that.
Yeah, that was pretty fresh.
So 10 years old, while your parents put you in the intramural? Or?
No. So I was born in Venezuela, and I moved here to Miami when I was 10, and that was the first time I see women's soccer. Nonetheless, it's crazy how life works. I remember that when I was a kid in Venezuela, we would go to my brother's soccer games. And normally the older boys would play before or after the younger boys. And the older team were the guys in my age, like my school friends. And I don't know why I always fantasize of me playing soccer. Bizarre memory.
Thought about it,
I have
but
like
never.
this super clear, vivid picture of this field that we went to see my brother play. And I just have this memory of me fantasizing of myself playing soccer.
Even
without any clue that I would play soccer, that girls played soccer.
But you didn't even touch the ball at that point?
Not that I remember. I was doing gymnastics and flamenco and drawing.
The gymnastics helps in your
I don't know how much it helped, because that was till I was 10.
I
had to relearn how to do a handstand.
Oh, you had to relearn. Yeah, flexibility.
Yeah, I lost it. I can't do a split anymore.
That would probably add to your routine, ending in a split or something.
Yeah, some girls do it. I tend to not I think that there's a balance between what freestyle is and what gymnastics is, and I'm quite sensitive into that. But yeah.
What do you attribute your general success to? Not just in freestyle, but everything from your social media to Cirque du Soleil, gymnastics.
God.
God.
I have a clue how those things happen. I just think
you consider yourself faithful.
Yeah. Of course, being persistent and not giving up, at times a little bit hard-headed. But I think that I just have a massive blessing, because at times I look back and I'm like, I don't know how this happened. I just don't.
That's good. But you maintain the gratefulness, the gratitude.
Always. I never take things for granted. I try to stay as humble as possible and realize that I have a blessed life, that it's a dream life for many people. And try to, even though I'm still ambitious and I always want to grow and evolve, I don't take for granted what I have, because it's not a given, And at times I feel guilty when I'm like maybe procrastinating, or I have a depressed day and maybe I don't do stuff. And I'm like, I have a blessed life. How could I be feeling so shitty at times? But I always try to keep that in mind, to just be grateful of those little things, because they could be gone.
Yeah, every time I feel like a hint of depression, it's like, don't be so ungrateful. I'm speaking to myself. Like, that's when I remind myself, okay, let me meditate the state of mind of being grateful. Yeah. And have you ever heard of the book, The Magic, by chance? It talks about that. It was recommended to me by actually someone else, not Brandon this time. But I listened to the audiobook, and it basically talks about just being grateful every day and finding any little thing you can be to be grateful of. There's always something to be grateful, no matter how dark in the moment, during the time it is. And in fact, the more grateful you are, the more you'll receive, the more the universe gives back. And also this other book, Man's Search for Meaning.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, did we speak about it
No.
before?
No.
I guess you didn't see that book when you came over last. Brandon recommended me that one. It talks about a Holocaust survivor's experience and him being able to find meaning in his life, even under the dire circumstances he was in, where he'd witness all his fellow Jews dying day in, day out. And in all the darkness he was in, he was still able to find a meaning, a reason to live. So I like to tie in both concepts.
And it's true. Like, I always tell myself, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, but don't stay there, because it could be worse. Like, that example sets it apart a lot. Like, it could have been a lot worse, or it could be a lot worse. Don't deny yourself from what you're feeling, but don't stay there. So that's what I always try to, like, just keep in mind, that I have a blessed life. And that's my word. It's a blessed life. It's not lucky. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
But I don't think we get lucky. Like, yeah, good luck, whatever. True, but it's
You do have to.
it's not a coincidence. I mean, that's the way I see it. For me, I'm just like, it's God's will. It's happening for a reason. It's not like magic wand. Yes, I do love Disney and all that kind of stuff, and I believe it, but things happen to us for a reason.
Yeah. Some people get more opportunities than other, but it's what you do with that opportunity. It's earned, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know why some people have it in a different way than others. Some have it harder than others. Why some might seem that they have more blessings, or others than. But I do believe that there's a specific reason behind all of our lives. And when we surrender to that purpose, then that's when things start to make more sense. And then you see those blessings manifest themselves, because you're putting yourself in that position to allowing it to happen. And in order for you to get those blessings as well, you have to understand that the struggles are going to come with it, because those are moments that are meant to shape you to what you need to become to be able to achieve what God's purpose is for you.
Yeah.
And it's having that capability and that consciousness and that awareness that you have to do that work, like that internal work of, like, surrendering to the purpose, surrendering to the fact that it's out of your control, and understanding that there's something in this situation that is addressing something within you that you have to look at, whether it's emotional, mental, or whatever it is. And then the moment you start living your life that way, you start to see how things shift. And then you start to see all of those blessings. Anyway, so, like, just surrender yourself to that. Put yourself through those situations, and then do that work for you. Like, do the work that you need to do, so that you can then become what you need to become to be able to achieve what you're meant to be to achieve. And within that, you always keep that level of gratitude. And it's hard. Oh, I was saying, like, yeah, the past 2 years, I've been going through a lot of questioning, doubt, fear, and I feel guilty because I have allowed myself to crumble and break and have days where I don't do nothing. And I'm like, I should be doing stuff. Like, I have a blessed life. How can I be at this emotional state? And I don't understand why it happens, to be honest. Like, even to those who have everything or might seem very successful, my only explanation is that I'm also human. And I also get those, like, moments where other forces, other things are trying to destroy you because you have a bigger purpose.
And also, another way to look at it is you always have to take the bad with the good. It's sometimes I am grateful for those down moments because it makes the up that much better. And I realize I can't be happy all the time.
100%.
You know?
And that's the way that I'm taking it as well. Like, okay, I know it's a difficult period for me. I have a lot of questioning going on and a lot of uncertainty. I see blurry. Like, my vision towards the future is not 100% clear at the moment. That comes with a lot of questioning, self-doubt. What am I going to do? What's next? What's not next? But it's allowing yourself to understand that it's just a phase. It's just a season. It's not going to last forever.
Exactly.
And maybe this moment of shakeup is needed to then rebuild in a different way with a different perspective.
Exactly. You need to look at it as a positive thing, even though in the moment that's probably the last thing you think of it as. But it reminds me of when you get sick. When you get sick, you realize how good you had it before you were sick, and now that you're sick, all you want to do is feel better. But a lot of times, after I recover from the sickness, is a good reset physically, because during the time I was sick, I ate healthier. I took
You were able to stop.
stop doing everything that was toxic. or whatever. I don't drink coffee when I'm sick. It's like a big detox. You're drinking a lot of water. So, there's light in all the dark.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
That reminds me of my ultimate, you asked me about this recently. My ultimate purpose, I feel, as an artist and a musician, is the music industry is such a dark place that I want to be the light.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I want to be a light in the dark place, and I want to go like kind of a soldier into battle for good with the armor on, because it's so dark, you can easily get influenced by it, and you hear all the things that happen on the news with, no Diddy and all that. So you're gonna come across a lot of darkness, and darkness that can easily influence you. So I feel well armored to go into the battle.
And something that I've tried to always put in perspective, for some reason we think, I don't remember what's the name of the movie. I didn't watch the full movie. I just watched a section in a seminar. They played it. We always think that if we don't reach the maximum, or we don't have the most numbers or reach the most amount of people, that we're not making a difference in this world. But it's actually taking that into a different perspective and not focusing in the masses, but if you focusing the little, even if it's just one person, that already generates a change, and you feel it that you're making the change. Rather, if you're trying to reach millions, you might think, I'm not doing anything, I'm not reaching, or I'm not fulfilling my purpose. But taking that into a different perspective is like, okay, you do shine light. Even if it's to just one person and you help them change their life.
It's a ripple in a vast ocean.
And then and that's what I always try. I always tell people, I love to help people. And whenever I do something that they come back to want to give me back what I gave, I was like, no, keep it. Some moment in your life, someone's going to come into your life that's going to need help. So you're going to do the same thing to that other person. So it's like at times it's even more impactful when we focus on those smaller or small portions of what we're doing, rather than trying to achieve that big, huge standard.
Yeah, easier to move a rock than a mountain, kind of thing. You can at least make some change, even though it might be perceived as small. But then
it's not small, because whatever you do through your music or whatever it is that you do, you can change someone's life.
Yeah.
You can be the difference from someone taking their life or not taking their life, or feeling loved by not feeling loved, or finding their purpose and not finding it.
Yeah.
That's more massive than just having a tag that says, I reach 1 million people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you save at least one of those 1 million people's lives?
I hope.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
At least if you save one person's life and you only reached one person, well, that's worth everything.
Yeah, because then that person could do the same thing with someone else.
Yeah,
and then through you, indirectly, more people were touched.
Yeah, that's good. Pay it forward. That is a good topic to end on. I'd say so, right?
This is ending.
Yeah, you've enjoyed it?
I've been loving it. I'm having fun.
Yeah?
Ah.
Oh, that's good. Hey guys, presenting to you the professional football freestyler Laura Biondo de Venezuela. I hope to be putting out some more content for you guys on my end, and more people as interesting as her, hopefully.
For sure.
And thank you for being here and being a part of this.
Okay, this is the clipper. That one.